You may have heard about the proposal for IRCC to bring some kind of reform to the international student program, and they're kind of wondering, is it good news or bad news? What exactly is it? Okay, is it going to affect me if I'm doing admission? Is it going to affect me if my visa application is already in process? Is it going to affect me? And when exactly are some of these policies going to start? So in this video, I will just talk about some of the policies, give you a bit of background, and then it will help you to kind of plan ahead in the future. Now, of course, we know that Canada is a very, it's an amazing country, right? It's a top destination, of choice for a lot of international students. Why is this so? Because there are high quality institutions, both universities and colleges in Canada, that are really top ranking, okay? And Canada is very welcoming, right? And the society is very diverse. And then there is a lot of opportunities for graduates to work, to immigrate, to even, stay permanently after graduation. The route of citizenship is pretty among the best in the world. Now, even though the fact that international students have really contributed to the quality of life on campus across the countries, because international students are mostly involved in a lot of volunteering, it is amazing. But there are some really serious challenges that there are some challenges that international students have faced really navigating this process. So the aim of this reformation is really to target some of those loopholes that international students are facing. So what I like about Canada, each time you hear about a new policy coming out, it is not really going to be negative on the students. In fact, for the most part, every new policy coming out is really to benefit the students. Okay, now the Minister of Immigration, the new Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, Mark Miller, actually announced that there are several measures that they are going to put in place. Okay, the aim of this measure is to really strengthen the Canada International Student Program, and most importantly, they want to be able to protect the students from fraud. In recent years, there's been a lot of issues about fraud, especially with admission letter. You may have seen in a video I did some time ago where Canada was they were planning to repatriate about 700 students from India. The reason is because of fake admission. Okay, before now, IRCC don't really verify per se officially this admission with the particular institution. So once you submit an admission letter, they will probably read through the content, and if it looks genuine, then it will pass, right? They will approve it. If not, then why were some of the students that even used some of this fake, or maybe someone did the application for them, they had fake admission letter, it went through? There were some loopholes, so they wanted to actually address some of these loopholes, in between now and next year. Okay, so it's not a bad thing. Okay, it's actually help to prevent this crime and fraud, especially for those that are using agents and representatives. There are about 3 measures that they've actually put in place. So I'll go through these 3 measures one after the other. Now, starting from December 1st, 2023. So it means for those that are planning to apply for visa for May or September start dates that already have admission and haven't applied, then this may apply to you. Okay, so every post-secondary designated learning institution, DLI, they will be required to confirm every applicant's letter of acceptance directly with IRCC. Okay, so I don't know how they are going to do it. They'll put a barcode or to say, okay, this particular admission letter has been authenticated with the IRCC. Okay, now this new enhanced verification process is really aimed at protecting a lot of prospective students from letter of acceptance fraud. Okay, this will help help to prevent some similar problems that some students faced earlier, this year, because of they did the investigation and discovered that there were fake admission letters that were issued. And it is also geared to ensure that the study permits that are issued are based on genuine acceptance. Imagine, I'm just giving a hypothetical example, that let's say 100,000 study permits are approved, and out of which, let's say 3,000 were from fake admission. That is already a slot that someone that would have gotten study permit approval is actually being denied. Okay, so that is good. So the second one is going to be from started from the fall of 2024 semester. Okay, this is a very new thing. So IRCC, they're actually planning to adopt what is called a recognized institution. They started off from DLI, now they're moving into recognized institution. I don't know if they will call it RI. So this recognized institution framework is really going to benefit some post-secondary institutional DLI that set a higher standard for service, for support, for outcomes for international students, which means that those big schools that, oh yeah, they know that these are ranked to be among the best universities in Canada or the best colleges in Canada, their quality of education, and then the rate at which the international students that are graduating from these particular institutions are getting jobs. Now, these particular DLR, they are going to benefit from what is called priority processing of study permits for applicants who plan to attend such schools. So the way this is also going to be good is that some of these, I don't know if it's going to be not beneficial for private colleges and other, but some of these institutions that are not top ranked and that don't provide that as much space as they admit, for the sake of the funds that some of these schools may want to get, they actually admit more than maybe the necessary. And then when people come within a particular city, there are so many students, then that's where all of the housing crises and other things are going to come from, right? Although the students are not the one that are only causing the housing crisis as well, but this may be one of the problems. So what does that mean? It means, if you're planning to apply for fall of 2024, the thing is that they haven't released. I'm not sure they have. I haven't seen it. This recognized list. So, but for those that are already applied for fall semester, you've already gotten admission, they may implement this, and they will kind of put that into consideration based on the college that you are applying for. So what I would advise is be on the lookout for these recognized institutions, and make sure when you are completing your application for admission, you apply to these recognized institutions. The third one is that in the coming months, IRCC, they actually want to do a complete assessment of the post-graduation work permit program. They're going to look at the criteria, and they're going to bring some kind of reforms, to really calibrate it to meet the needs of the Canadian labor market, and also, the regional and also the francophone immigration goals, because the post-graduation work permit is a key part of the economic development of Canada. That's why, because they want to retain as many international students as possible, that will help grow the economy in terms of filling in the Canadian labor market and others. So why is it that Canada, they are really thinking about this? Because they really understand that there is a lot of cultural, social, economic benefits that international students bring to Canada. And for those benefits to actually continue, they're saying that they really need to address these challenges in terms of the integrity of the international student program. And with these measures, they are really going to take actions against some of these nefarious factors that have preyed on having genuine students, for financial gain. They really want to identify every fraudulent letter of acceptance after it is submitted. So moving forward, there will be no room for people that do fake admission. I think that job is over, because you can't even use it to apply for admission, except people might still do it, maybe do the admission, use it to apply, and they, IRCC denies it, right? But that is just not the best thing to do, okay? So another thing is that institutions that really demonstrate strong support for international students, they will be recognized, and the applicant for such schools, they will move to the front of the line for processing. So which means if you apply to these schools, what will happen is that when you're processing your application, it's going to be top rank, okay? So which means that they will be able to select, better select and retain those students that are really suited to meet, Canada's economy and also the immigration goals. Now, they also mentioned that these reforms really mark some initial points that they've identified through the review, because they looked at this program and discovered that these are something that they need to do, and they also need to do a lot of engagement, because they ask stakeholders from schools, even from students, feedbacks and other things. So they are actually continuously organizing a lot of workshops in institutions, in provinces, in territories, and the goal is to really better detect if there are fraud opportunities or fraud that are happening in terms of this admission letter, and they really want to make sure that this immigration system is the best possible. Okay, that's about it. And then just some quick facts about Canada immigration. When I was reading this statistics, I was like, this is amazing. Now, do you know that international education accounts for more than $22 billion in economic activity annually? Okay, this is actually greater than Canada's export of octopas, lumber, or aircraft, and this actually support more than 200,000 jobs in Canada. So in 2020, because of COVID, that temporary drop of international students resulted in a loss of about $7 billion, more than $7 billion for Canada's GDP that year. So in Canada, these ministries of education in all of these provinces, about 10 provinces and 3 territories, they are responsible for organization, delivery, and assessment of education. So I would say, don't be afraid of what this new changes means. It's a good thing. I would say, if you're applying to school, keep applying, but just be on the lookout in case they release the list of these recognized institutions, so that you can actually apply for them. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you consider hitting the thumbs up, a like button is going to help YouTube recommend this video to a lot of other people. And also, if you haven't subscribed, do it to hit the subscribe button. If you apply to come to Canada, can you leave in the comment section which particular college or university you are planning to apply to? Let's see if there are other people that are also interested in that college or university as well. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.